Do what you can. I'm going to repeat. Do what you can. I feel like this is a principle that can be applied to everyday life when things are more normal than they are right now, because there are so many things in our world that are not normal right now, as well as can be applied to awful atrocities like the injustice that happened to George Floyd the other day, and everything that is coming out in conjunction to that or being highlighted once again. So let's just think about this from the principle of like everyday life. Do what you can. I feel as if in that principle there is both a freedom or a release, if you want, a challenge and a responsibility. Freedom and release, why? Because the reality is that each of us are daily facing different situations. We have different capacity, different resources, different circles of influence, and all these things can be very impacted sometimes by stuff that's going on in our life or by external forces that mean that we cannot do as much as we might want to do, whether that is for ourselves, for our own family, or for the wider society, community, or the world at large. So there is a freedom and a release to recognise that you can only do what you can do. And if I connect it with something I've seen going around in response to what's happening now with the big movements and protests, there was a post that was going around, and what it says is, resistance is not a one-lane highway. Maybe your lane is protesting, maybe your lane is organising, maybe your lane is counselling, maybe your lane is art activism, maybe your lane is surviving the day. Do not feel guilty for not occupying every lane. We need all of them. And you know what? That was posted by Linstastic, and I think that's really true. That's where we get the freedom and release. And it doesn't even have to be about you being part of a big resistance. That might just be about you surviving your daily normal life. If just getting up in the morning, getting your breakfast together, getting to work, whatever is what you can do what you can. But there is also a challenge and responsibility, because actually, because we have capacities, we have resources, we have intellect, we have circles of influence that we can speak into, there is a challenge and a responsibility that if we are in a place to do something more within those, to speak into certain situations, whether it is for just our next door neighbour or somebody the other side of the world, or your community here that you didn't realise is also facing injustices, etc., then actually there's a challenge and a responsibility to do that. But then what is it? Because sometimes some of us want to respond. We want to know, what can we do? And so, for example, one of the things that I feel that I can do right now is I can be trying to highlight, repost resources, comments, etc. that people put in conjunction to what's currently going on. I myself need to be more informed about a lot of things. I myself do feel that I am limited in some of the things that I can do, but reposting and highlighting some of this great information that's going around, keeping people informed, that is something that I can do. So I am doing what I can with that. Some of you know I tend to do things like spoken word. A few pieces have been coming out of me because of what's currently going on. So I've been sharing that. That is something that I can do. So I've been doing what I can. So please remember what I read from that quote. This is not about saying that you have to be doing X, Y, and Z. It is just a simple principle to say, do what you can. And you know what? If it's just surviving the day, because I saw a quote, I think it's by Audre Lorde, that was talking about just breathing and getting through the day is an act of resistance. It is doing what you can sometimes. So that's my simple rambling thought. I wasn't even going to post this week, but that's the thought that came to mind. Do what you can.